Hello everybody, and welcome to Average Joe's Movie Club presents Schlock Talk, where we watch hot-ass trash so you don't have to. As always, I am your host, Joey Porter, and on this episode, I'm going to be joined by my very good friend, Sarah, from the Run It Back pod. Now, unfortunately, there were a little bit of audio issues with this recording. In the first 5 minutes or so, where I normally would do the intro, is completely unsalvageable. So that part is gone. I do apologize, but we did talk about how we got to know each other through podcasting. Oddly enough, she was in a support group or a podcast group on Facebook and helped me get our podcast onto Buzzsprout, which put us onto Spotify and all of that. So I'm very grateful to her for that. And then it just kind of, it grew, talking about movies and then starting to talk about college football. And somewhere, I'm pretty sure West Virginia just scored again. And then it went into pro football. She's a huge Packers fan. We both like to watch the Pat McAfee show. And then there's a little crossover since she likes Pat McAfee. I'm pretty sure they went to school at the same time. And then Pat McAfee is a wrestling commentator, and anybody who has listened to anything I do knows that I am a pretty big mark. So that was pretty much what it was. It was probably a little bit more than that. I don't remember. It was a while ago now. This was also supposed to be the first episode of multiple episodes that we're going to make up a special called Shark Week. Unfortunately, just life has gotten in the way and that's not going to happen. So if you hear me reference Shark Week throughout the podcast, that is what that was referring to. Unfortunately, this will be the only one. Now, there will probably definitely be more shark movies on here because there are just tons of them. Also, unfortunately, my audio throughout almost the whole thing is bad. Some of it is fine, and then there are other spots where it's just very staticky, I guess is the best way to put it. So I do apologize, and I understand if you decide you don't want to listen to it, but I decided that it was such a fun time recording and talking about this movie that I still wanted to put it out there. So with that being said, I'm gonna just go right into it. It should come in with me asking the first of the questions for a new guest here on Schlock Talk. Thanks everybody, and enjoy it.
You and I have unfinished business.
Oh? And what's so stinking about it?
Non mi faccio il feeling. Spirito Santo. I think this just might be my masterpiece.
So what would be your favorite genre?
Let me tell you. So I wrote down these questions. I knew them ahead of time. And I have a real hard time picking a favorite anything. I think it's because I'm a Libra. Jason says it's because I'm too sweet and don't want to hurt any of the other movie's feelings.
That sounds like both of you to a T, actually, from what I listened to on y'all's cast.
So I struggled with some of these favorites, and in some of them, I might just be lying to you. I don't know.
You can pick more than one. It doesn't have to be like...
I'm gonna have to. So for genre, I would say like action adventure, because I will watch the worst movie as long as everybody's moving around enough.
That's reasonable. There's a lot of movies that aren't very good, but if something's happening, it's at least entertaining. So I can
Right.
follow you with that.
And I would say comedy, but like it has to be like just perfectly right.
Oh yeah, comedy is
Like if it's too far this way or too far that way, it's just awful. Like it has to be like just in my wheelhouse.
yeah, comedy is so weird, especially like things that I used to think were crazy funny. I don't think I would find funny anymore. Like I remember thinking like Superbad was like the greatest shit ever, and it was the movie someone would come to the house. We're like, oh, you never seen Superbad? And so I probably watched it like 5 or 6 times in like a year, and then I didn't watch it for a long time, and I watched it again, and I was like, this is very okay. Like, this is very very mid. Other than Emma Stone, because it's Emma Stone.
I know you would watch her read the dictionary.
Yes, in fact, I would. I would watch Emma Stone, who's Emily, who only wanted to be Emma because of Emma Bunting.
That's right, Baby Spice.
Oh, you got there. You got it that time. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, so this is the one I'm pretty sure I know the answer to. What would you say is your favorite movie?
You know the answer to it because we argued about it on a podcast because I wouldn't pick one, and like under duress Jason started screaming at me and I spit out Jurassic Park and he was like, there you go.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to say Fern Gully.
No, but it is the answer to another one later.
And also maybe Romeo and Juliet.
My whole heart loves Romeo and Juliet, but yeah, it's not my favorite.
It was, 11 or 12-year-olds yours favorite?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But not for Leo, for Claire Danes.
Yes. Yeah, no.
I didn't care about Leo at all. I just wanted to be Claire Danes.
That's reasonable. I mean, there's been many a times I've wanted to be Leonardo DiCaprio, like...
I bet.
My whole life, right now. Like,
Other than that bear scene, I'm sure a lot of people wanted to be a Leo.
Yeah, other than the bear scene was not cool. Also getting shot by Christoph Waltz is kind of, that'd be cool, but I don't really want to die for it, so...
All Rose threw him in the ocean and let him drown.
I know, that freaking bitch, there was so much room, too.
So much room.
Oh, man. But, he finally won an Oscar. Oh, yeah, it also gets kind of murked in The Departed, one of my favorite movies, but,
It is a really good movie.
Alrighty, it's from one of my favorite directors, and we're going to use that to segue into your favorite director.
I had such a hard time with this. 10 years ago, I would have told you Kevin Smith.
Oh, 10 years ago, I might have picked Kevin Smith, or he would have been in the conversation, so I'm with you there.
Absolutely love Kevin Smith. I haven't watched any of his movies in a really long time, and I feel like Superbad, like I may have outgrown them a little bit. Also, he had a near-death experience and lost a lot of weight and kind of got a little annoying, but whatever.
I mean, well, good on him. He's being a lot healthier.
That's great. Super awesome. He had a heart attack the same time my dad did, so they had their journey together.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you can't go wrong with Spielberg. I mean, he did Jurassic Park. Also really like Edgar Wright. And I'm going to mispronounce this name. I have been practicing this all morning. Taika Waititi hasn't done a lot of stuff, but his stuff he has done is just so good.
Taika Waititi, yeah. He does some very good stuff. Edgar Wright, I love half of his filmography, and then I think the rest of his filmography is very mid.
Mainly the Cornetto trilogy.
See, that's the ones I think are mid.
We're done. I don't need to be here anymore.
But Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim, freaking love those.
Baby Driver is very good.
Yes. See, Justin, I'm not the only one who thinks that movie is good. Shut the hell up. But yeah,
I didn't mean to step into it there.
Oh no, me and Justin have talked about that a couple of times, and he thinks that movie is very pretentious. But I'm trying to convince him.
Things could be both.
I mean, yeah, things can be pretentious and still be fine. I mean, I still talk to Justin about movies all the time. I mean, he's pretentious. Love you, Justin. But Spielberg, I mean, it's kind of hard to pick against Spielberg. He's
right. That's why I was like, it's a bulletproof answer. Go with that.
I mean, he's kind of like the GOAT. I was going to say of our generation, but I mean, even before our generation. I mean, Jaws was 10 years before we were born. I'm pretty sure we were born the same year, or pretty close to it.
Nice tie-in.
I have my moments. And then, E.T. and all the other things he's done, he is literally the GOAT, I think, at catching the wonderment and amazement of what film can be, which is quite literally the opposite of what we're going to talk about in a few minutes.
But so yeah, no, I think that was a good choice. All right, so do you happen to have a favorite actor or actress, or is it just Leo and Claire Danes?
A favorite actor was the only one that I was like immediately had an answer for, and it's David Tennant.
Okay, all right, that's your big Whovian.
I liked him on everything, but yeah, Doctor Who was my introduction to him.
So I really
Broadchurch, so good. Good Omens, everything he's in.
I think I've
He was
only.
in.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
He was in a Harry Potter, but it was the fourth one, so I didn't make it that far, so I can't vouch for his performance in that.
Was he in Harry Potter? It's been so long since I've seen those.
He was one of the Minister of the Dark Arts teachers in the fourth
I
one.
think you're right.
He was a bad guy.
I mean,
I had to Google it today.
wasn't he also in Jessica Jones?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the bad guy in
Kilgrave.
season 1.
Oh, so good.
He was really, really good in that. Like, the whole... I'm not really into a bunch of British stuff, and that's why I find the Cornetto trilogy to be kind of very mid.
Ugh.
But it sounds like you would get along with my friend Rosa quite well, who's done a couple of these with me. She is quite in love with, like, Doctor Who and the Cornetto trilogy and all of that.
All the British stuff, just give it to me.
Yeah, no. Unless you're handing me like Kate Beckinsale or something, I'm good on the British. I mean, I'll take their health care. I mean, I'll go live there, but
right.
like their movies are not for me. All right. So that's
I did come up with a favorite actress too. I struggled, but I came up with
oh,
Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh, Elizabeth
because she's
Olsen?
not in a lot of stuff, but the stuff she is in is she's just so freaking good. Like, I know superhero stuff's kind of looked down on, like, but her as Scarlet Witch is phenomenal. Like, WandaVision was just great TV.
Yeah, WandaVision was great, especially like all the time and stuff that they took to go through like all the different ways that like sitcoms and stuff were shot. Like they did training and stuff on that. And she's actually like a really good actress. Even like she was in the American version of Old Boy, which the movie, I mean, she was in it oddly enough with Thanos, whose real name escapes me at the moment.
Josh Brolin.
That's the one. I kept saying Josh Hartnett in my head, and I was like, well, that's not right.
That's a whole different movie.
That's a whole different movie, right? But no, she was in that movie with him, and so you got these two very good actors, but it fell flat to, it's an Americanized version of a Korean movie. It didn't do well, but she was great in it. She's great in superhero movies. Like, people can look down on them all they want, but I mean, they achieve what they want very well. They want to be big, moving set pieces with a lot going on. They keep you very entertained. Yes, I mean, the cinematography in all of those movies is all well done, special effects. So people can hate on them for being, as Marty would say, they're not cinema, but whatever. They're entertaining. So I'm okay with all of that.
Hey, I started this by saying as long as people move around enough, I'm into it.
Exactly. So like, boom. And I mean, they did some really good things in that the Thanos or whatever you want to call it cycle, the first four phases of the MCU, like.
Right.
So, I'm here for it. I will accept Elizabeth Olsen. Also, she has more talent than both of her crackhead sisters.
Like they have like a clothing, makeup, skincare, cosmetic brand that they named Elizabeth and James after their like two unfamous siblings, and then Elizabeth Olsen goes and becomes kind of bigger than they are, at least right now.
Right, because I mean, one of them...
I just thought it was so funny.
They haven't really been in the limelight in almost 30 years now, it seems.
Yeah.
And like one of them was on like a guest spotted on Weeds for like 3 or 4 episodes or something, but yeah, they did that make a clothing line, makeup line thing that was really big like in the 2000s, and like everybody was making clothing lines and all of that stuff if you were famous. So,
I still wear their perfume, Elizabeth and James, Nirvana Bourbon.
And it's Nirvana Bourbon?
Yeah.
Is that Teen Spirit Bourbon?
No, it smells so good. Oh, it's delicious. I was like, oh, it smells like bourbon. Jason will like it. And he's like, it's fine.
Why is that always the guy's response? Yeah, it's whatever.
I know, right?
We're terrible as a species. What can I say?
Awful.
All right, and so what was the first movie that was more than just a movie? The first one that just spoke to you in some sort of way?
I have struggled with this so hard, but I'm going to go with Fern Gully because, like I said online the other day, it spoke to my little 7-year-old environmentalist heart so much. I was like, trees can feel pain? What? Oh my God.
You did. I did remember seeing that post.
Yeah,
And
For Earth Day,
for
because,
Earth,
Earth Day is like my Christmas.
it's like your Christmas. Did you get gifts?
No, you give gifts to the Earth.
But if it's like your
No, I'm not quite this bad.
Look, there's nothing wrong with wanting the Earth to be safe and a better place and be around, for generations to come. Even you doesn't have children. That's mighty nice of you. And I know that sounds kind of glib. It's actually not meant to be glib. So, but we're done interrogating. I'm not going to interrogate you anymore. So.
No, I have the first movie you remember watching in the theater, damn it, and I had to ask a parent for that.
Oh. Excuse me.
Thank you.
What is the first movie you remember watching in the theater?
The Little Mermaid.
Oh, The Little Mermaid. Ooh.
I had to look it up. It came out in like November of '89, so I would have been 5 years old. I do not think I would have taken a 5-year-old to the theater to see shit.
Oh, but see, so you had to ask a parent. What's the first
I
one?
do.
What's the first one?
I remember it. I
Okay.
remember seeing it. I remember her like jumping up on the rock and like the splash of waves behind her, but I asked if it was the first one.
Okay. So yeah, I remember being in the Julia, which is still a theater here in Florence. It's now like the discount theater, but at the time, for a long time, it was like the big theater. And I remember watching Roger Rabbit, and also a movie I probably should not have seen in like 1989. But I also shortly thereafter, I feel like I was watching like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Patrick Swayze and stuff. So whatever, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. It's
Like-
not that big a deal.
My dad was super into taking me to drive-in movies. And I actually saw Little Mermaid like in an actual theater, but we would go to the drive-in and like they have like the PG movie first and then the kids fall asleep and then there's like the R-rated movie, but I never slept. So I saw all kinds of things I shouldn't have seen.
And I love the drive-in. I didn't go to a drive-in until I was like I was like 31, I think.
Oh my gosh.
And there's none around here. The closest one, is when I lived about 3 hours from where I'm at currently. And even then it was closer to the interstate. So I lived in Beaufort. It was about 20 or 30 minutes to the drive-in, or you could drive 30 minutes into Bluffton and go to like the big nice movie theater, or you could keep going further to Hilton Head and they had another movie theater that was older but also was pretty nice. But we did the drive-in a lot because we could both get in and we could get like cheeseburgers and like actual food and come out for the same price as just us getting into the movie theater like in Bluffton. So
Yeah, or you could smuggle your own food and drinks is the best.
oh yeah, I mean we could have done that, but we didn't. We always just were like, we're gonna eat there.
Such upstanding citizens.
I mean, now I'm not gonna say I've never smuggled food in the movie theater before. I have definitely. I remember one time with my friend Troy, and this is when the third Matrix movie came out. Was it the second? It was one of them. They came out the same year. So whichever one of those came out, I guess it was the second one. Came out in like May. So it's like 100 degrees. He's in a trench coat, but no one suspects anything because we're going to see the Matrix. And he opens that thing, and inside we just have like a whole 12-pack, all sorts of snacks. I've snuck whole Burger King combos in cargo pockets. So yeah, no, I've definitely been there before.
And now we're in the age of, I'm going to need to look through your bag, ma'am.
Oh yeah, see now since they put so much stuff on streaming, even if it's not the same day, like give me subtitles, give me the ability to pause, like don't charge me $5 for a bottle of water. Yep, no, I'm just gonna stay home. Even though
Yeah.
I love the theater. Like if we had a drive-in theater around here, I would probably go to that. But just to go to the Regal, nah, I'm good on that. I say that I'm probably maybe gonna go see Doctor Strange and or Thor, but I haven't been to the theater in over 2 years now, so I need to at least get the taste of Rise of Skywalker out. That's the last thing I saw in theater, and that was it was not very good.
I can't remember what the last thing I saw in a theater was. I remember there was nobody there, like, nobody. Like, we had to go into the back and find somebody to sell us tickets.
Oh wow, that's
I
pretty
can't
crazy.
remember. Okay, our Mortal Kombat was the first movie we saw after, like, everything opened back up and we were allowed to go to the movies. But we saw something recently. I have no idea what it was. Apparently it wasn't that great.
Apparently not. Ooh, I wanted to go to Mortal Kombat, but for some reason we didn't. Because then we were going to go to Godzilla and we didn't. And whatever, it's fine. I'm just not going anymore. I'm saving that money, I guess. Um, so,
Just not doing it.
all right, let's get to our main event here for the first day of Shark Week.
Yay.
Yeah, I picked you first. It feels special.
All right.
So we are going to go over the Academy Award winning, I can't even say that with a straight face, Trailer Park Shark, which came out in 2017. It was, I'm going to assume on SyFy as a TV movie and they referenced Sharknado. I'm just going to assume it was on SyFy.
Definitely a sci-fi original.
Yeah, it kept cutting. I was like, oh, yep, these are commercials. And it kept having weird spots where it's like, they're going to say vulgarity, and then didn't say vulgarity except for Dennis Haskins. So I couldn't, obviously, it didn't make any money directly because it did not go to the box office, but it does look like it's an estimated budget of about $445,000. So definitely not a lot of money. I wonder how much of that was to put Tara Reid front and center on the case of the DVD and the movie poster, and her not to be in the movie, but for like
Isn't
5
the movie,
minutes.
like, yeah, screen time wise, like a minute and a half, maybe?
Yeah, so
I kept waiting for, I was like, am I watching the wrong movie?
like I would be real, like if I would have been even more excited if I had known that Dennis Haskins, that Mr. Belding was the bad guy. That,
I have my notes as evil building.
yeah,
That's what I'm going to be calling him.
evil Belding. Did her arms freak you out?
Yes.
Her arms were so thin in this movie. Like, I know that she's went through some problems and some rehab and all that, but her arms looked like, do you remember, like, in the early 90s or even maybe a little bit into, like, the late 90s, they would show those clips of the children in, like, Ethiopia, you know, when they were going through that big famine, and they were all emaciated. That's what her arms look like.
Bone thin, but also, and I'm sure it's like a tanning situation or maybe drug use, I don't know. They were like super wrinkly, like an 80-year-old's arms.
Right? Like,
It was weird. I was like, how old are you?
this is, I mean, Tara Reid's, I mean, she's older than us, but she's not that much older, because, I mean, she was, because I was, what, 14 when good old American Pie came out. And let's see. Oh, well, she's 10. She was born in 75. But yeah, her arms shouldn't have been.
It still shouldn't, yeah, it shouldn't be that wrinkly.
Yeah, should not be that wrinkly. And oh, now that I Googled, you know, to look for. Oh, man, no. It's so weird. It's so
But
weird.
she looked fairly normal in Sharknado. I thought in all the Sharknados.
I've only seen the first one, and it's been a while, especially.
You've only seen the first one, and you're doing Shark Week movies, sir?
Yeah, because I'm going to do Sharknado as its own special thing, I think.
All right, you watch all 5 of them, damn it.
I think there's 6 of them, isn't there?
All 6 of them. Oh my
My
gosh.
roommate has them in like a steelbook collection, so. But then
Nice.
There's like a picture of her here with, like in a football jersey with Paris Hilton. She's just, you know, like, she's obviously skinny. She's never been a large person, but like, she doesn't look, weird. So.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, not important, I guess, other than it freaked me out.
I definitely noticed them too.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. All right. I don't even really know where to start this movie. Normally there's something that stands out or something that makes me like where I can like have a point to go from. The only thing that really like line wise is that they kept referring to the horse as Dookie, and like my
They
brown
leaned
Dookie.
hard on that.
Oh my god! I was like, did a 12-year-old write this?
Yeah.
It was real bad. The dialogue was not great. The special effects obviously Granted, I know they were made cheap, so I can kind of overlook that, but also it was still pretty atrocious.
First great line you didn't go to was, "At least I don't go around letting everyone tongue punch my fart box."
Look, I wanted you to handle that, okay? Oh.
She's gonna say it at some point.
Look, it didn't have the same flair as when Margot Robbie said it, okay? Like a tongue punch in the fart box. But yeah, no, that I'm gonna be real. Like the first little run through the trailer park, and then we see them in the water, and they kind of do the reverse, and you kind of go back through the elongated, seeing how everyone.
Yeah, I hated that.
Oh, you hate it? I actually kind of thought that was pretty decent, other than the insane amount of stereotyping Southern people or country people, or however you want to put it.
Are you also mad that they oh, I've lost my word, that they just stole our Southern identity?
Oh, they stole our Southern identity.
Ah.
Oh man. I mean, all the fact that they called was it Soggy Bottom?
Soggy Meadows.
Soggy Meadows. They called
Welcome
Soggy
back,
Meadows.
y'all.
Yeah, they called it a town, and I'm like, but it's just a trailer park. It's not a town.
It's not even a trailer park. If you watch, because I have it playing now on mute. There are zero trailers as you would think as a trailer park. They're like RVs and like Airstreams.
Yeah, those kind of
portable.
trailers, not single wides, not double wides. It's all
right,
like portable RVs. Yeah, it's real bad. It's
yeah.
And there's the car with the window unit in it.
Hey, she was very proud of her boyfriend that put that in for her.
She was. There was a lot of, quote, redneck ingenuity going on.
Yes.
I really wanted to see them steal the power from the windmill while having to cut that line underwater and plug it in. I really wanted to see how that was going to go down, but then a shark.
I'm super confused about the whole plot of it. Yeah.
I mean, we don't even know where the shark came from. Like, it's just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing since I'm going to assume in Louisiana, because we saw the one license plate that said Louisiana, that it, came in from the Gulf and somehow lived in the Mississippi River, swimming up to wherever the levee was that, got blown.
There's like one line where the guy goes, "It must have come from the ocean." And other than that, it's just never talked about again.
Yeah, that's just, they just
accepted.
It came from the ocean. Also, so they drive a van full of the bomb to blow up the levee. They're not even near anything. They just put it next to the water. And they're going to run from this bomb. They're like, "We've got 4 minutes." I'm like, why was there not another car? Like, why didn't you take 2 cars? And
yeah, they were a little bit like Beavis and Butthead or Dumb and Dumber with this plan.
You know what? Don't disrespect the intelligence of Beavis and Butthead. Or Lloyd and Harry? Lloyd and Harry,
yeah.
That's what I'm going to go with, by saying that these guys were like that. Let's not insult those fine characters in Americana.
They actually reminded me of Spike and Iggy from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my god.
Like, all of I know that's a super hard pull.
I also have never seen that movie. I've made it many years, and I feel like soon, once I run out of fighting games and I transition to video game movies, that'll be one of the first ones that I'm going to hate.
I would like to be on for that, too.
Okay.
I've already done a podcast about it, but I will come back and defend it.
Oh, all right. I will bring you back for that. Done. It might be a while, but we'll get there.
Okay. Take your time.
Let's see. What other shenanigans?
Can we talk about Barbara Wire?
Oh yeah, barbed wire.
Yeah. Who has shaved off her eyebrows and tattooed barbed wire there instead?
I somehow missed that. Are you kidding me?
No, Barbara Wire
has
shaved off her eyebrows and tattooed barbed wire there in its place. And she apparently lets everybody go around tongue punching her fart box.
Apparently.
That's what I hear, at least.
That's what the other person, whose name was it, Daisy?
Daisy.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm looking at the cast list right now. I only remember Jolene. Jolene. Oh, and Swayze. The dude's name was one of the henchmen's name was Swayze.
And he had like cornrows. He had them like braided.
Oh yeah, no, I kept calling him. He's fake ass. Shit, I forgot his name now. Danny McBride, fake ass Danny McBride.
Kind of, but that's one of the reasons he reminds me of Spike from Super Mario. Is he had like the head ridges where he was, part dinosaur, and his cornrows and his shenanigans. Anyway, you'll see.
So one of the things that got me was, Mr. Belding's character, so Evil Belding.
Evil Belding.
Was supposed to be like super rich and like owned everything, but he looked like he just lived in like an apartment complex. Just a normal apartment complex. Now he had some fancy looking car, looked like a Bond villain car or something, but he just lived in a normal looking apartment complex, which I guess people living in RVs, that's living at the Ritz-Carlton, right?
I think he was supposed to be like a Boss Hogg ripoff from Dukes of Hazzard with his like white suit and the cowboy hat and the boots and the car.
I definitely got that vibe as well. Like, oh man, but Boss Hogg was just so much better.
Hey, did Boss Hogg ever kill his partners and turn them into boots?
Not that I know of.
No.
But he did have a henchman named Roscoe P. Coltrane.
That's true.
And was once also played by Burt Reynolds and was very skinny, which was kind of weird. Also we had a cowboy named Rufus. He's the one who he loved his dookie.
He loved his brown dookie.
So speaking of the brown dookie, so when we get to that part, so the levee is blown and the river has flooded Soggy Meadows. So instantly. So
I thought I missed a scene.
Oh, also it stopped raining. The storm that was supposed to cover the explosion lasted like 2 seconds.
It did. Too expensive.
Too expensive, yeah.
They said that the water was too expensive and that all the water scenes is like 2 feet deep because it's all the water they could afford. And I read that before I watched the movie, so just dying laughing that like everybody's on their knees waddling around.
So that's actually what I was about to say. So there's multiple times throughout the movie where they're swimming, and I'm like, man, it looks like they're swimming in a tub. Like that's how deep the water is. But
they truly are.
That's fine. You can't be Waterworld and build a water set in the middle of the ocean. Like I get it. But there's speaking of Duke the horse. He's swimming, and they show him swimming, and he's barely not touching the bottom, but his head's out of water. And then Homeboy's riding him to go to the shark, but the shark obviously is a 20-foot shark, so the shark has to be in a lot of water. And he rides it up to the shark in the shallow water, but it's not supposed to be shallow, it's supposed to be deep. And I was like, look, I understand that this isn't going to have the most continuity, but we're all smart enough to know that a horse can't just run in water. We've all watched Westerns and, are halfway intelligent, I think.
Dookie's size is wildly inconsistent. Like he's standing everybody's on top of their trailer and just like an inch or two of the top of their trailer sticking out. But then Dookie rides up and he's as tall as the trailer because his whole back's out of the water.
Yeah.
And Rufus jumps on his back, and then when he gets eaten, Dookie just rides straight into the shark's mouth, and I'm like, well, how big? Like, he was bigger than a trailer a second ago, but now he fully fits in the shark's mouth.
Maybe Rufus was Paul Bunyan, and we just didn't know it.
Yeah. I think Dookie definitely was a shapeshifter.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's one of the many things. The whole plot of how they ended up hooking the shark, that whole thing. This whole thing was a train wreck. Like, okay, I'm going to be real. Like, I watch these movies knowing they're going to be some form of train wreck, but this was more of a train wreck than I could even imagine. Like, I spent $1 to buy this movie out of a pawn shop, and I think that I spent $3 too much. I think they should have paid me. They should have paid me $2. It's a nice DVD though. It even has a slipcover.
Ooh.
Right, it's fancy. They spent more
production
money.
of the DVD
They
was higher
spent-
than the movie.
Right, they spent more money producing the DVD than they did the movie. Jesus Christ.
I was reading that the main dude here, Rob, the actor that plays him, the American Pie guy, wanted to like experience sharks and see how they behaved, and he went on like a shark diving, swimming with the shark thing off the coast of Mexico for the weekend. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that trip cost more than the entire production value of this movie.
Right? That's... Boy.
I was like, I also don't think you needed to immerse yourself in this movie. You didn't have to go method for the shark movie.
Oh, you're right. I thought that guy looked familiar, and I couldn't place it, and I kind of forgot about it throughout the movie. He is in American Pie.
Yep.
With the tie-in to Tara Reid. Jesus Christ.
He apparently didn't save any of his pie money.
I mean, well, he wasn't the one fucking the pie, so he didn't get a lot of money. He didn't get that trauma from having to have sex with a pie.
There were 3 or 4 of them. He shouldn't have to do this.
That's true. I mean, I think he was in 4 main ones and like 18 spinoffs, and I own like every single one of them.
I think I watched the first and second one, and I couldn't tell you anything else.
I haven't watched Reunion or whatever the wedding, whichever the most recent one of the main cast is. But someone gave me like it was like a 6-movie box set of the spinoffs, and I was still like young, so I watched all of them, and I still have it, but I don't foresee myself watching them. So
my biggest issue with the movie is I can't. Okay, so the shark's electrified, right? Because he bites the cable from the wind turbine.
Yeah, and he becomes a swimming EMP, basically.
But yeah, like he's just randomly electric. Like it just when he wants to, he can send out like the EMP or.
So
because he's not all the time electric.
Yeah, he's only electric
the water
sometimes.
Just when he needs to be, and it's like a pump, and then like the whole water becomes electric. So weird, I don't know.
He's clearly related to the shark from Santa Jaws, which has freaking laser beams. Yeah, that's the shark that Dr. Evil wanted. It finally happened in Santa Jaws.
It's so weird.
Don't watch that movie either. It's better than this one, but don't watch
Oh, I've seen Santa Jaws.
Okay. All right. So what else? You know.
Yeah. I've watched about this. It was mine and my dad's thing is to watch the bad sci-fi originals. So I've seen all the shark movies, all the alligator movies, all of it.
Oh boy! All right, you're speaking my language. Even though I haven't seen all of those, but I feel like I'm gonna just keep delving into them because, well, I hate myself apparently.
They're better when you watch them with people because I started out this day going, this was the worst movie ever made. And then I realized I just didn't watch it with my dad. So we didn't have like that mystery science theater thing happening with it. Or I didn't watch it with Jason and he hates these movies so bad. But I get some kind of joy out of watching him suffer through it anyway.
Oh, you're such a good wife.
Like, that's what he said this morning. And I was like, it's not like I want you tortured to death, but like, watching you watch these is hilarious because he's not quiet about it.
I mean,
and I was like, oh, I watched it alone, and that's why it's so bad. Like if I had watched this with people, it would be the best movie ever made.
So I mean, that is kind of one of the things. Is normally most of these movies when I do this podcast, is whoever is I'm casting with is usually in the same room as me, and then we just walk back here and record. Obviously, as we live multiple states away from each other, that's not very easily done. But yeah, when you get those bad movies and you get like that Mystery Science 3000 kind of vibe, I mean, we didn't do the most recent episode, the DOA episode, and my friend Devin was like, man, like, I hate you, why are you making me rewatch this movie? And like the first 10 minutes, he probably said he was leaving like 5 times, and then we got into it, and we just started talking about it and laughing and everything, and we had a good time. So I was watching this with my roommate, and I was making comments here and there, and he was not like interacting. So like he
take away your TV privileges.
I mean, you can't take over my TV privileges. I'm the adult here. But, I mean, he's the one who typically likes Schlock. This is all his fault. All of this whole extra podcast that I'm doing, all of this is his fault. He's the one who made the 10 horrible movie list. I think it might be at my request, even though I was kind of joking. And now I've just fallen into this. I'm watching schlocky movies. Maybe it's to counterbalance all the pretentiousness that I get from Justin and our normal podcast. I don't know. But,
Shots fired.
oh, yeah, no.
Justin's really taking it on the chin today.
I always say that about Justin. That's like, if I don't say that he's pretentious, he'll think that I'm like something's wrong with me. So, but see, the reason, and when it comes to Justin, while we're on that, it's like if I wanted Justin to watch this movie and like this movie, all I'd have to do is get it put on the Criterion Collection, and it would automatically be a masterpiece.
I'm gonna have to rewatch Baby Driver if he's pretentious and he says it's too pretentious. I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Yeah, for whatever reason, that didn't do it for him. But I tried to convince him, like, I was like, dude, they're doing stuff where they're like all the gunfires to the beat of the music and like all this stuff. It's like it's great, but I mean, it's a big dumb action movie, and I'm here for it. So I wish this was also a big dumb action horror comedy thing. I don't even. There's a scene where they hit the girl in the head with the skidoo, or so they can go find the GoPro, not the GoPro, but the GoPro.
Oh, GoPro. I had the closed captions on. It says GAHPRO, all one word. I was like, oh, I can't with the GoPro.
Oh my God, that would have been great. Because here's the problem: the DVD didn't have subtitles, because I watch everything with subtitles, whether it's in English or not, and it did not have freaking subtitles. So they spent all the money they could have on subtitles on making slip covers.
Yeah, GoPro.
GoPro.
I had to back it up and turn the captions on to be like, what the hell is he saying?
Maybe that's supposed to be his Louisiana accent saying GoPro.
He talks completely normal for the rest of the movie, and then all of a sudden it's a GoPro.
And everybody says GoPro. We gotta get the GoPro. We gotta get the GoPro.
I think they just didn't know what it was.
Or maybe if they say GoPro and not GoPro.
Oh, they don't have to pay them?
They don't have to pay them.
Ah, that's definitely what it was.
Right? Oh, man.
I took a lot of issue with the rafting skill in this movie, coming from, like, the third largest whitewater rafting state.
Oh, the third largest even.
Yeah.
Who do you trail behind?
Wyoming and Colorado.
Wyoming and Colorado. Okay, I was for some reason going to say Washington State, but that makes more sense.
No. The dude paddled backwards.
Also, he threw his paddle at the shark.
But it didn't matter because he was paddling backwards. Because I was like, dude, don't throw your one paddle at the shark. That's your only way out of this. And then I was like, you weren't going anywhere anyway. Never mind. But then he duct tapes his hand into the shape of a paddle, and then he paddles correctly.
Look, that was that redneck ingenuity.
Oh, redneck ingenuity.
Oh,
that'll
man.
get you every time.
Then
he also, like, the raft, like, barely bumps a tree and gets this massive hole in it, and I was like, do you know the abuse that those things take? That would not. And then he did the worst duct tape job on it. I was like, where's the redneck ingenuity when you're taping a dang hole? It was horrible.
You know what? You could tell that he'd never been used to, like, plugging holes.
That's right. Couldn't plug a hole. Couldn't paddle. It was of no use to anybody. I don't know what Jolene was doing. She should have stayed with Swayze.
She wouldn't have been in the trailer park. Also, I like that she was, like, about to jump into the paddle, or into the inflatable raft with these giant-ass heels on. Like...
Yeah, if the branch did a number on it, those hills were going to go straight through it.
Right, she's going to go right to the bottom. Let's see, what other shenanigans? All the lassoing, how all the lassoing was perfect.
The lassoing was great. Well, he
was
his
a
name?
Cowboy. That's Rufus the Cowboy, right?
Rufus.
Yeah, Rufus.
Rufus thinks he is... Oh, I have notes. Where is it? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, see, you're taking notes. You're treating this like it's a real important special podcast.
It is.
Oh.
Oh, he thinks he's Wyatt Earp. And I called him Wyatt Earp earlier in my notes when he was like riding Dookie into the shark's mouth, just charging at him. But at the end, he screams, "You tell him I'm coming and hell's coming with me," which is Wyatt Earp's line from Tombstone.
Oh, you're right. See, you say Wyatt Earp.
Jason's favorite movie.
I do. So I didn't see that for the first time until a couple of years ago. I did enjoy it. I didn't think it was
Killing me, Smalls.
I didn't think it was my favorite, but I thought it was pretty good. I did enjoy it.
One of Jason's 2 favorite movies.
I enjoyed listening to y'all talk about it.
Him talk about it. I just said,
Well, see, that's him getting you back for making him watch all of these terrible, like, shark movies and gator movies and all that kind of stuff. But I've definitely had those podcasts where he's talking about, I don't know, some movie, and I'm like, yep, yep, we're done. Yep, no, I have nothing. I have nothing else to say. You can just keep going, brother. So, like, was it you who I sent the link to one of my old reviews, and it was just like 9 bombing emojis?
yes.
Yeah, for that podcast. Yeah, after like probably 10 minutes into that movie, I didn't say very much. I was like, yep, just keep going. So I feel you. So we get to the climax of this movie, and they've come up with some half-concocted plan by Rufus the Cowboy where they're going to take a chain, I guess, from his boat or something.
Right.
And they're going to take these kegs, which then they have to empty, but then they won't weigh the shark down as much if they're empty.
Well, they want them to float, so they know where the shark is.
Oh, okay. I thought they were... Because they were talking about slowing it down, but yeah, that does make sense. Okay.
Right.
It might have been a little checked out. And then...
It was also the worst "that's what she said" joke ever, because, like, Rob's down there drinking straight out of the keg, and his girlfriend tells him, you need to be together for this. What are you doing? He's like, "Oh, this is what I missed in college." And she was like, "I'll show you later what you missed in college." And he said, "That's what she said." And I was like, that's not funny. That's literally what she said. Like, that's supposed to be like an innuendo kind of thing.
Right? Like, that was...
It's literally just what she said.
It was, like, Michael Scott would have, like, been very disappointed.
It was bad.
It was very bad. I tried to erase that from my mind, but you're right. And then you had the ribs on the cooler lid.
Which is where Cleon meets his untimely death.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Cleon. Lord, you know I'm good. Forget all the rest. Save me.
Right. He is actively being eaten by the shark. He is fully bitten in half, going, "Oh God, no! I can't get my hair wet."
Yeah, that sounds about right. He's... oh man, his
hair was luxurious, but
was
still,
definitely something else. Oh, he's done a bunch of stuff. Okay.
He has a weird name in real life, right? Like Hollywood something.
Donnie Hollywood McFinley.
Yeah.
He was in Shawshank Redemption. Like, how do you go from Shawshank Redemption to Trailer Park Shark? It looks like he was in
Sounds
a
like
a
lot of people should have invested better.
Right? Looks like he was in a movie with the Khaleesi. Emilia Clarke.
Oh.
He was in a movie with Emilia Clarke. Anywho, so they get the shark all strapped up and start chasing it, or I guess tracking it, and get it wrapped around a tree. They get it on a tree branch hanging out of the water, and then say they want to suffocate it by taking it on land. I was like, but it's been out of water for forever on this tree branch, and it's perfectly fine, and even killed Mr. Belding with its fin.
Yeah, Evil Belding. Evil Belding.
Evil Belding, who was on, like, I guess they're called an airboat or something. I'm not really sure. But a fan boat, maybe?
Yeah, fan boat.
Yeah, but he decided, he showed us a shotgun, he showed us crossbows, showing him doing all this target practice. He's going to try to kill everybody and the shark with a sword.
Yeah, he has the weirdest weapons, right?
Right? It's like, dude, you've got a shotgun. Like, it's a shotgun. Just shoot them.
But they said that if the shark got loose from the tree and then killed somebody else, that would be on them. So they get the shark loose from the tree and decide they're going to tow it to land with the fan boat. I was like, I don't think that's going to work.
And then aren't fan boats supposed to be like fast, and you kind of skim across the top of the water?
Right, yeah.
And they're pulling the shark, and all of a sudden the shark's like, no. And they're going so slow, and then the shark just starts pulling them the other direction.
It ate a horse in one bite. This shark is gigantic.
That's true. It also ate a skidoo, a jet.
That's right.
I didn't really eat it. It hit it and then was chomping on it, but it never went anywhere. It was still there.
Well, they paid a deposit on that. They have to return that in like new condition.
That's true. That, or it was like the director's personal, like, because there was four jet skis in that movie.
Yeah.
That's probably why they had the camo stuff on the top of them.
Oh, that is because they were just recycling them.
They were recycling that first one and had to hide it, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta put it on all of them."
Exactly right.
I didn't even think of that. That's the kind of budget these people are dealing with. Hey, I mean, that's smart.
It was bad. Like, I've seen a lot of CGI sharks in my time, and this was by far the worst CGI shark.
You notice that the burn kept switching sides?
Yes.
Yeah. So then they try to drag the shark on land, and it pulls off of the airboat, and it was wrapped around the hitch or whatever, and the hitch shoots into the air and gets wrapped around the turbine, which pulls the shark out of the water, and then splatters the shark everywhere, leaving them with the GoPro. The GoPro.
But enter Swayze and Daisy, because he saved Daisy's lot. Well, they tried to kill Daisy earlier, and she just won't die. But she did lose her pants.
She did lose her Daisy Dukes, which were already unbuttoned anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, she lost those. But Swayze kind of takes her hostage, and they come up, and they suddenly have the GoPro. I love how, like, in the middle of all the shark chunks, he just reaches down and grabs that GoPro. Yeah,
perfectly. Doesn't miss a beat. And then she starts, like, fighting him, and he gets impaled on a tree.
Yep.
And then they leave, the three of them. So Jolene, Rob? Yeah, Jolene, Rob, and Daisy leave with the GoPro. And then the best part, they spent, of the $445,000 budget, they spent $444,000 of it on the text at the end to look all neon and 80s. I don't know if that's true, but
it was very 90s, 80s, very weird.
Yeah, just randomly at the end. But that is...
Wait, we have glossed over one of my favorite parts.
Oh, go right ahead.
So, while Barbara Wire is on the trailer, she gets electrocuted by one of the shark's electrical EMP pulses and goes into a full dance montage.
You're right. So,
like, she hits the lawnmower and the cabbage patch, and then she starts doing the Macarena. Like, there's 3 or 4 different
and they even play like a remix of the Macarena.
Yeah, they put the right songs to it. It said that the actress... Yeah, I have that fun fact too, but you go ahead.
That she suggested doing it for the bloopers, and the director liked it and unfortunately left it in. Oh, I would be so mad. Boy, that was something else. I tried to wipe that from my memory. Thanks.
I know. Barbara Wire is my favorite character. I don't feel like you've given her the respect she has needed.
I mean, that's a good name, right? Barbara Wire. They wasted such a good name on... Like, that could have been, like, some cheesy villain, like, female villain or female hero in some female empowerment movie that's not good, but less bad than this.
Yep.
I'm trying to think, is there anything else we talked about them leading into the fecal matter joke? A bunch, how they killed everybody. I think we have covered this movie fairly thoroughly. Now,
if you like Jolene and Rob, feel free to catch them in Nightmare Shark.
Oh, are they back in... This movie has a sequel?
Yes.
Oh.
The survivors of this movie and the survivors of Atomic Shark meet together to combine their forces for Nightmare Shark. Oh. Which is literally if Freddy Krueger was a shark.
Oh my God. All right. Well... Boy, howdy, we might be changing the lineup for Shark Week, guys. We might be doing Atomic Shark so we can do Nightmare Shark.
Nightmare Shark.
Oh, my God. I did like Jolene. Jolene.
Jolene is Mila Jovovich's cousin.
I was
No,
kinda,
niece, her niece.
I was figured they were related with that last name Djokovic, and much like Mila, she's just in not good movies.
Oh, not a Resident Evil fan.
No, I like the Resident Evil movies like a lot, way more than the games. They're not very good. Her husband directs very bad movies. Oh,
Oh, yeah, that is kind of.
I mean, the Resident Evil, let's be real, Mortal Kombat 95, 96 is not good. It's fun, and I love it to death, and I'm going to be watching it again here soon,
Right.
but it's not very good. He also was like the executive producer or something on the DOA movie I just did. So, yeah, no, he does not good movies. He makes a lot of money, so hey, more power to him. He's making more money than me.
The director of this movie, Griff First,
Yep.
he's made every shark and alligator movie that I love. He did Raging Cajun Redneck Gators, which is the best sci-fi original ever made.
Oh, so it's better than Sharknado.
Next to Sharknado, because Sharknado had such a high budget. You can't put them together.
Also, that name is great. The Raging Cajun
Redneck Gator.
Redneck Gator. Boy, that's a hell of a name.
So, tainted moonshine gets in the water supply and turns two of the regular alligators into these mutants. But then people start drinking the moonshine and it turns the people into alligators. But whatever, like, physical feature that person had as a person, like if their nails are painted pink or they had a gold tooth or whatever,
Told me
the
about
alligator
that.
now
Oh my
has.
God.
It is so good.
I think you keep using that word.
I don't think you know what that word means.
Oh man.
Great. It's great.
All right, I'll be on
It's
the.
good fun if you hate yourself.
Oh, I mean, clearly, I do hate myself. I have lived in South Carolina for 36 years. Of course, I hate myself. Boy. Alrighty. So, on a scale of trash, hot trash, or hot ass trash, what would you rate this movie?
Oh, it's absolutely hot ass trash, but in the best way.
See, I'm gonna go with hot ass trash, but like in a bad way.
In the worst way?
In the worst way. Oh man. That being said, you told me there's a sequel, and it told me what it's about, and I'm like, you know what? Sign me up. So maybe I am just a misogynist. Jesus
It
Christ.
is absolutely if Freddy Krueger was a shark. It is great.
A masochist, not a misogynist. Wrong word.
Damn women. Swear to God.
Right? Jesus. God, why are y'all so horrible, Sarah? Jeez.
Horrible.
Can't believe I invited you on.
We
Jeez.
are the actual worst. Oh, I have it on mute in the back. So his raft gets a hole in it, and he first tries to patch it with
Like-
a ham sandwich.
Oh man, that's
Like he fully just squashes the ham sandwich against the raft and then looks at it like he's so proud and was like, why did I think that would work? And then he eats the sandwich.
and then he finds the duct tape, and then you oh my god. This movie is so bad. So if you guys want to watch it, there is a DVD available. It's also like according to IMDb, it's on like it's on Bravo, E, NBC, SyFy, Telemundo.
It's on the NBC app
yeah.
for free.
So on the NBC app, not the Peacock app, but
Right. They are separate apps apparently. I had to download a whole different app.
I believe when I looked it up before, also there were some I think on like Amazon and stuff you could rent it. Please don't.
Don't.
Just watch it for free on the NBC app. Take the ads. You'll thank me for the ad breaks.
Yeah.
Because
You need the ads to recover.
I even said I was like, man, I wish this was on Tubi so I'd have some ad breaks. Oh shit. So yeah. Well, thanks for
You know
coming.
what?
Oh, go
We
ahead.
did not talk about Tara Reid, her scene at all. We just talked about her having fucked up arms.
Oh, where she had a chainsaw and it was facing the shark's mouth and then wasn't, and she got eaten by the shark.
He's like, Rob paddles up to her and says, hey, there's a shark. Be careful. And she looks up at the sky. She's like, weatherman ain't said nothing about no tornado today.
Yep. She surely did.
And that's it. That's her scene. She gives him another paddle. She gives him an empty gun. And then she dies. And she's on the cover.
And she had his watch.
She did. His, like, grandfather's watch.
Yeah, and yes, she is front and center on the cover
Yeah.
with Jolene.
And we didn't even think to mention her.
Yeah, she was barely even in the movie. Like I was like, we didn't even see her in the montage at the beginning or anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So basically, in summation, it's don't really watch this movie unless you like really bad TV sci-fi kind of movies, because that's what it is. I mean, I don't think it took itself seriously. Like, I think it knew what it was, and I think that SyFy is very good at its movies and knowing that that's what they are. But still, it was. I think even for those, it was kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel.
It was really bad. I think it's character development, because some of the shark sci-fi originals I like, you know, Three-Headed Shark and Sharktopus versus Whale Wolf is my favorite. But they have like a little character development, and you give a shit about these people. I just wanted Rob to die. Like, he's the hero of the movie, and I'm just like, I hope you die, buddy.
See, like, yeah, I'd have been, he could have died. We could have kept Rufus. I mean,
absolutely would have rooted for Rufus above Rob.
And I like Jolene, but I'm always a sucker for the main female lead, so what can I say?
Barbed Wire, man. She's my favorite. She's about to bust a move on my TV right now.
Oh no, but what about Daisy? You know, she was the trashy hoochie one with her baby.
They sang an entire SpongeBob SquarePants theme song ripoff about what a whore she was.
Oh man, who doesn't love whores?
Like, they're circling her on their like jet skis, all menacing, trying to kill her, and just singing a SpongeBob song about she's a skate and everybody's had her. It's like, what the hell?
Oh, gotta bring SpongeBob into this.
I'm surprised that they were even allowed to use the tune.
Ah, yes, but I'm sure it's something like fair rights and
I guess
being a parody,
less than 30 seconds and a parody,
yeah, all that good stuff. So, all right, so Sarah, if someone wants to get in contact with you, or they want to, I guess more so listen to your podcast, where can they find you?
We are at Run It Back Pod everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
Yes,
we're available on all your social media or all your podcast apps. Just Run It Back.
Yes, it's very good. They have a lot of episodes, so it's a very good listen. So you know, it's got my seal of approval, and they are very active on social media. So you know, you won't be just following them and not seeing stuff from them. They're much more active than I am on social media, running. I'm sorry, more than Justin and I. No, it's me.
It's me too. It's me.
I figured, but I wasn't just gonna throw Jason out like that. So yeah, you find them at Run It Back everywhere. You can find Average Joe's Movie Clubcast, the Average Joe's Movie Clubcast at gmail.com. Danny Justin. If you would like to send us a message, Twitter is AJMCC. My Twitter is AVG_JOE_E. Yeah. I mean, you know where we're at. I'm on most of all of your platforms for podcasting. We no longer are on Buzzsprout. At the time of recording, we did just switch to Anchor not that long ago. So if you go through Anchor and want to support the podcast, there is a donation button. And I think that's all I've got. So thanks for joining us for Shark Week. And remember, we watch hot ass trash, so you don't have to.